Hi, my loves. Kristen here. So, today I want to drop in and talk a little bit about aliens. So, some of you might know, and some of you might not, but I was raised in science fiction fandom. My parents actually met at a science fiction convention, which means that I was raised around a lot of dorks and nerds, but also that from a very young age, I was given a very extended perception of reality. And by that, what I mean is that because I grew up with a lot of permission to read science fiction, to read fantasy, to make believe, right? To make things up, to imagine, to play pretend, that became a very normal part of my world, right? So that like my perception of what was real is maybe a lot vaster, right, than folks who grew up without the permission to play in the kind of not real worlds, right? I think all of us have probably met or know people who poo-poo on fiction, who don't see the benefits of fiction, of story, right? And to those people, I just kind of feel bad for them because story and make-believe is, story and make-believe is super fun. Being able to play in the realms of what if is a really powerful practice, especially when it comes to talking about manifestation, when talking about abundance, when talking about energy work, when talking about magic, right? Our ability to imagine, right, is directly connected to like what we can create, right? Like there's all these sayings of like, if you dream it, you can build it. I feel like that's a Disney one. If you like if we can imagine it, we can make it real, right? This idea that our thoughts create our reality, right? And so if we are living in a world where our reality is really narrow, our reality is really small, our reality only exists, includes that which we can perceive with our eyes, perceive with our maybe touch, then we're really limiting our, we're just limiting ourselves, right? And so as someone who grew up, right, in science fiction, in fantasy, in this world of make-believe, I feel like I am not shocked or surprised by a lot of things, right? So we all know that the US government came out last week, held a little conference being like, aliens are real. We've definitely seen UFOs. We've definitely, have alien specimens and alien debris, blah, blah, blah. And so in a very real way, right, like they made real something that prior to their admittance had been in this realm of fantasy, this realm of fake, this realm of make-believe. And so there is an invitation or an example here to remember, right, that there are things that are real, that exist, that are very tangible, that we cannot perceive, that we've never thought of, that we've never heard of, right? But they're still real, right? And there's also this invitation to start imagining more, right? To imagine more for ourselves, for our world, right? I was introduced and invited into a journaling practice that is a simple like, wouldn't it be cool if? Wouldn't it be cool if, right? Like just riffing on that, right? Like, wouldn't it be cool if we could travel intergalactically and that we, could learn from, higher evolved species from other places, right? Like, maybe it might not happen, but like, wouldn't it be cool? And so I invite you, if that resonates with you, to sink into this space, right? I think there's a huge invitation for us to start rebuilding our relationship with the imaginal, with the make-believe, with the pretend, with the things that we have considered fake, not real, right? I also want to elevate and remember and remind us, right, that like there's a lot to be learned from story, right? That like when we read stories about places that are different than us, about worlds that are not our own, right? It expands our perception. It gives us a different view into our own world. It gives us a different way to approach issues that might feel really challenging, right? It gives us a way to dialogue about something without it feeling so close to home, right? So triggering, right? And so I want to just say that like there is a lot to be learned in fantasy books, in science fiction books, in the realm of make-believe. And also I want to like commemorate and kind of like give a shout out to all of those world builders, all of those authors, all of those writers, right? Literally they are showing us how to like recreate reality, right? Because someone's mind thought up those worlds, those stories, right? Those characters. And so we are literally being shown the way that we can rewrite the story. We can recreate the story. We can make it real. And we can do so in a way that then has like lasting impact, right? Like I think of the power of story. The power of story is phenomenally powerful. Story is so potent, right? It's why so many of our like most ancient cultures are all storytellers, oral tradition storytellers, right? It's why when we start to write down the story and create one narrative, it can be really dangerous, right? Because when there's only one story, all of a sudden, like all of these infinite possibilities cease to be because it can only be this one story, right? And so, what story is wanting to be told by you, right? Like what extended reality wants to come through you, right? How can your story help to extend and expand our own reality? How can your musings, your what ifs, your could be's, right, help us to hold more space for the vastness that is our universe, right? Because that's one of the big things that's happening now, right? Is that we are being invited to literally expand our perception of reality, right? This idea that there are living, breathing, highly intelligent beings all across the galaxy, that is a huge paradigm shift for a lot of people. Not necessarily the people I was raised with, because again, I was raised in science fiction fandom and we've been talking about aliens and spaceships and other worlds and magic and wizards for like a real long time. But for everyone else who's starting to come into that realm, right? Fantasy, sci-fi, fiction, it helps us to expand and hold more space for what is, right? It helps us to soften maybe where we're having really narrow tunnel vision. It helps us to see things through other people's perspectives, see through another's eyes. And so maybe you have a fantasy or science fiction story that's calling you. Maybe you've been resistant to it. I don't know. I think the invitation is to jump in, dive into the make-believe, dive into the sci-fi, dive into this realm that our, at least like mainstream American society, has very much seen as like less than, right? And by that what I mean is like, again, right? Like within many circles, there's this idea that like fiction is here and then like nonfiction is here because it's real. And it's like, it's real. It was a real life. And it's somehow better. You can tell I'm a little biased here. But like in those perspectives, right, like the medicine and magic and wisdom that we are able to gain from story, right, is not held with respect. And so there is an invitation to respect what we consider fake and not real, right? For us to start holding differently what is, right? To expand our reality, to include far more than we ever thought possible. Because in the grand scheme of things, right, like our human brains, like we can't even comprehend all that is. I think of I was just watching a little like documentary short about dinosaurs, right? Another of those like make-believe things, right? It's like a realm of science, but we have had to use our imaginations to imagine what it must have been for the dinosaurs, or what these dinosaurs must have looked like, or what life must have looked like, right? Like, as much as that field of like study of dinosaurs is rooted in, here we found these bones, we found this evidence in the earth, there's also a lot of imagination that had to be activated in order for us to know what we know now, right? And so there's this invitation for us to imagine, right? To imagine, to stretch our imaginations. Because even when I think of time, right? Dinosaurs existed 20 million years ago. My human brain can't even imagine 20 million years. I don't even know. I can't even barely imagine what 2,000 years would feel like, but 20 million? And so there's an invitation to humble ourselves, right? To humble ourselves in the face of the vastness of this universe, to humble ourselves in the face of the complexity of this world, to humble ourselves in the face of the knowledge that we're not the only ones out here, which is actually like pretty rad and pretty cool. Yeah, so there feels like the two main things that seem to be coming up right now is let's imagine more than ever, and let's elevate story from this like kind of disrespected field to something of deep reverence, right? Because story is super powerful. Story helps us imagine more. Story helps us be more. Story helps us understand concepts that are frankly really, really hard to digest. And story can help us befriend our human nature. And so I invite you to reclaim story, right? Story is a part of our human heritage, right? When we trace our lineage far back enough, right? All of us at some point were related to someone who sat in circle and listened to story, right? All of us are related to someone back in time who held circle and told story, right? And so we are reclaiming our heritage when we reclaim story, and we are expanding our minds, our perspectives, when we play in the imaginal realm. Yeah, so that's really what I wanted to say. I feel like because I always do some energy work, I want to do some energy work with us around this. So I'll invite you to maybe move your body a little bit. Maybe you want to sway, maybe you want to reposition, maybe you want to lay, maybe you want to dance. Trust yourself here. Ooh, and I'm going to invite you to start letting your energy drop down, right? Take that elevator down, down, down towards your root. And imagine, if you will, that you can send roots down out through the base of your spine. And as these roots grow down into the earth, pushing through concrete, rock, and crystal, pushing through underground caverns, underground waterways, and caves, I want you to imagine that as your roots grow towards the center of the earth, they too are connecting you back through time and space. You can imagine that your roots are wrapping themselves lovingly around the molten core of this planet. And as you breathe in here, rooted, connected to this planet, I invite you to imagine you can breathe in the wisdom from times past. That you can breathe in the wisdom from times past. And as you breathe in, as you imagine, as you feel, as you sense this wisdom, this earthen, ancient wisdom, moving up, up, up through your roots and into your root, into your root, into your body, I invite you to just breathe and relax a little here. Just allowing that ancient wisdom from the earth to move up into your body. This ancient knowing, this ancient connection with the stars, as above, so below. Inviting in the ancient wisdom that is still hidden in the bedrock. Allowing that ancient knowing to awaken, to aliven, to spark. All those threads of ancient wisdom that are already woven within you. These ancient threads of wisdom that are already woven within you begin to vibrate and shine and pulse. And as they do so, they start awakening your own ancient knowing. They start allowing your perception of time and space to expand. They allow your perception of self to expand. A self that is beautifully living on this planet that is circling a sun that is circling in our galaxy, a galaxy that exists in an extended universe. We get to claim our place here, to claim our ancient futures here. And as we breathe in here with these ancient threads coming alive within us, coming online within us, I'll invite you to imagine that a crystalline light begins to shine down on you from the center of our galaxy, from the center of our universe. And this light, this crystalline light, shines down on you, and moves in to your body, if you wish, through your crown, or around your whole body, if you wish. This crystalline light, putting you in a column of light, illuminating your skin, your energy field. This crystalline light shining in through the crown of your head, filling your entire skull and third eye, filling your entire throat and back body, filling your entire chest and arms, filling your side body, your lower lungs, your belly, your lower back. This crystalline light shining all the way through from crown, all the way down to root. And as it fills your roots, it begins to shine out into the ground, shine down through your legs, out your feet. This crystalline light, this cosmic consciousness, this source point of origin, reattuning you to the oneness, reconnecting you with your vast cosmic knowing, reawakening the star seeds, the star power within you, for we are made of stardust. This light shines all the way through you from the tip of your head to the bottoms of your feet, awakening that dormant DNA, awakening that dormant DNA to remind you of your cosmic creatrix power, to remind you that you are a part of this cosmic family, a part of this universal oneness. Now I invite you to just take a few more breaths here with that crystalline light awakening your DNA, and with those ancient threads awakening you. Your entire body, your entire system is awake, online, booted up, alive. You are deeply connected with your ancient lineage, but also perfectly positioned to claim your ancient future, to connect in with the cosmic consciousness, the galactic frequency that emanates through all the spheres. Emanating even within your own sphere, your own body. These codes are aligned and alive within you now and always. Within you now and always. It is awake within you now and always. Ooh. And with that, I'll invite you to start moving your body again, maybe blinking some light back into your eyes. If you wish it, you can retract your roots back up into your body from below, or you can leave them if that feels good. You can imagine that crystalline light that was shining into your body and all around you is just starting to slowly dim and close off. Knowing that you can always connect back in with that light, knowing that you can always reroute down with the earth, knowing that you are always perfectly positioned between the cosmos and the earth, a beautiful divine channel connecting the above and below, connecting the cosmos with the earth, connecting the earth with the cosmos. You are a beautiful sentinel standing here now, fully awake and alive, fully connected to your ancient futures, your lineage, and with what's to come. I close this healing now. It is closed, it is closed, it is closed. And I invite you, if it feels good, to drop in to the chat. Let me know how this landed for you. I imagine I will probably be making more videos about imagination and sci-fi and reading and all of that. But if anything stood out for you and you'd want me to talk more deeply about it, please add that in the chat too, and I can make videos about that. We are more powerful than we have been led to believe, and we are invited now to grow larger than the containers that we have been given. It is your birthright to embody the full star power that you are. And you're doing it. Thank you. I love you deeply. Bye now.